I am thoroughly convinced that there is an action figure out there for everyone, not just in this general sense, but in a way that actually evokes imagination and passion. I've been collecting action figures since the early 2000s when my older brother got me into them. I don't have a huge collection because I've been pretty methodical about how I collect. And today I really want to talk about that, why I love action figures, how I got into them, and why I think that you should also consider starting a collection, even if it's something small. This is mostly Andre, where it's mostly me, Andre, who talks about the things that I'm enjoying in life right now. And so today's edition is one I'm super excited about: action figures. So I was born in 1998, and of course, I grew up in the 2000s. So I grabbed a couple of toys that kind of best represent this bleeding of the 90s into the 2000s. It was the Wild West, genuinely. So if you just think about whatever popular TV show there was just a lot of things that just gave them freedom to release toys. A lot of the shows or cartoons were created just to drive those toy lines as well. But if you're thinking about huge IPs like Spider-Man or X-Men, Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, WWE, all these things were huge and very close and personal to myself. Honestly, even starting off, some of my earliest memories would have been these guys, the classic Power Ranger flip heads. I had to put some respect on the Black Ranger name. I have the Red Ranger on my desk at work. There's been no fixing of them. The joints are pretty loose, but I mean, they still look amazing just for what it was. As well as this little Red Ranger here. He's just more of a statue. He's very static. But my brother would always write different Sharpie lines or tape them up. So it was just all imagination. Last one that I'll show. I'm pretty sure this is a Burger King toy, but there's a line of these guys, these statues. This is Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. Zero articulation, but a bunch of hip swivel. I bring these toys up in specific just to mention that back then, collecting action figures, having action figures was more rooted in an imaginative sense. It was about how can I replicate what I saw on TV and have that for myself. So for me, when I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I'd think, okay, like if this is Trunks or this is Goku or Piccolo, what figures do I have? And then how can I recreate that episode? Or WWE, I had a whole bunch of their action figures. I'm pretty sure the brand was Jack Specific. And I had probably 30 or 40 of these figures, and I would carry them all into the bathtub. So I was probably 10 years old, carry them all to the bathtub, and then I would just have a huge Royal Rumble. I would just basically be in there for hours, 3, 4 hours. My mom be telling me, like, get out of the bath because I would have to run it again to make it warm, but I would just be playing in there like the whole time. It didn't matter to me what the articulation was. It was just more about whatever figures I have, how do I make the most of it and imagine this world in a vast, expansive way. So, being an uncle now and seeing my nieces and nephews grow up, it has been a joy also seeing through their eyes them doing the same thing that I was just talking about. Seeing my nephew play around with cars or trucks, making noises with his mouth, it's more interesting from a psychological sense, but genuinely being somebody who still enjoys action figures, looking at him, it brings me joy because I say I fully get it and I love it. Kind of transitioning from childhood to being an adult, the playing with toys never stopped. It's just the way that I'm playing with them or the way that I'm utilizing them. That's what has changed completely. My goodness, gone are the days of static toys, the toys where their arms can only move one way and their feet can't go outwards. As I kind of entered high school, that's when articulation became really, really important to me. Having an ab crunch, having a torso. Let me grab this real quick. So I got a Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. He's still in his plastic prison. I will be taking him out here soon. I got him at the Denver Fan Expo recently. You could check out that video beforehand. I am so excited for this because of the all the articulation that he has, the accessories that he has. You can even see on the back of the box there him coming with his spirit gun accessories. It's a crazy time where we live in because now we can fully kind of flesh out these enactments. So even if I am not sitting on my carpet or taking a bath, which I can't tell you the last time I took a bath.
What do you mean by that?
It is crazy because even though I'm not playing with them in the way, I am posing my toys. I'll show right there because I'm looking at them as we speak. I have Leonardo up top on a skateboard. I might show it right now. Okay, this is what I mean by storytelling. First off, we have Leonardo skating. Would that be boneless? I forget what grab that is, if it is his front foot versus back foot. So that's unique, first off, because it's not Mikey. Because Mikey's typically, I know they all skate, but Mikey's typically the one most synonymous. Mikey eating a big old slice of pizza, Raph about to stomp his head out. And then all of a sudden, we have Donnie, who is holding his bow staff like a gun, and he has a nice little pouch there. Boom, Master Roshi. But now we got Trunks and Goku. Goku doing the Kamehameha. I used to have a Goku like this growing up, but he had nowhere near this articulation. I love his orange gi. Only thing that's a bummer is how discolored his kanji symbol is on his back. But man, is he a good looking figure. This is, yeah, I got this at Colorado Springs Comic Con. Kind of got them both set up. Oh, yep, classic. I got them both set up doing their thing. And man, is he beautiful. Look at those boots. And I mean, what better than to have him propped up next to his sensei? Fire, bro. All right, I want to just end off with a couple different considerations that I want you to hold on to. First off, action figures range. Right? You can have figures like I had, like this brand, which is Tamashii Nation's SH Figuarts, or you could go vintage and do ones like Jakks Pacific. You could do NECA. Like there are so many brands that I'll talk a little bit more about later. But that would be my first thing, is to think about, do you want a statue, something that just stays and recreates a scene? Or do you want to pose it yourself? That's number one. After you lock that down, think about your scale. And so even just kind of thinking about some of the scale, it can range. So those little Ninja Turtles that I have, those are Joy Toy figures, and those are about like 1/8 scale. So those are like 4-inch figures. So if I have those Ninja Turtles, and then you have another brand, NECA, that's maybe like 6 or 7 inches, having that world might be a little bit incongruent. So that's where it does get a little bit methodical. You have to just think in a way, if I do collect in this scale, this is how it could benefit me. So those Joy Toy figures, even though they are in a smaller scale, generally speaking, than some of these other brands, what that does allow me to do is search for generic action male figure on Amazon or on some other toy website, hopefully to support local. And I can just look up a 4-inch figure guy with a gun. Abby, my wife, she doesn't like if I ever get action figures with guns. That's fine. 4-inch action figure guy with sword. And now I can have enemies for them. Joy Toy has a long line. They have April, Master Splinter, and Bebop, Rocksteady. But if I want to save money, I can just get these other generic figures and have them pitted against each other. The other cool part is because of this world building, you can have your own multiverse. So if you do collect in a way that is vast and wide in terms of 6-inch figures, so if you had Mafex is great for some Marvel. I have a Scarlet Spider at work. You can all of a sudden now have Tony the Tiger, because yes, he does have an action figure. You can have Tony the Tiger, who is pitted up against Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then he was also pitted against Optimus Prime. So it's just endless possibility, and you can have this multiverse that could be wacky, or you can just have a self-contained universe where people can come over and point to that and say, dang, that's cohesive. This is a theme that I oftentimes reference in a lot of my videos, and that's just watch out for greed and don't be a shelf zombie. My judgment, or my call, my suggestion is just to say, think about the money that you're spending, and also be conscientious about just buying, and letting things remain in their plastic prison. It's really cool to live this life and express and just enjoy the things. And for many, they do enjoy themselves just leaving the toys in a package. So who am I? My point is, like, they're toys. It should be fun to mess around with them and do their thing. Once again, we all might land differently there, but don't just hoard the toys. That's my point. Don't just get so many. It's just nonstop. Be content with the things that you do have. Now, ending off here, I'm just going to kind of mention some of the recommended brands that I would suggest is a great starting place, and that's basically where we will end it. Tamashii Nation's SH Figuarts, they are great for a lot of anime toys. So if that's Dragon Ball Z, if that's Yu Yu Hakusho, if that is Hunter x Hunter, they have a wide range. Some of those, One Piece, some of those is still growing. The Dragon Ball Z one has been going on for years, so they just keep on adding and keep on adding. That's why what happens with a lot of these brands. Mafex, their strengths, I would say, are definitely in superheroes, so Marvel or DC. That's really a lot of fun because they also can go into some of the different suit styles. So for Superman, they have Superboy, which he just looks super 90s. He has sunglasses and a leather jacket. Ooh, yeah, it's so good. Those two brands, it is a little bit steeper in price. You're going to be looking at, $90 to $100 range. And then also with effect on tariffs, and know that that will continue to be an issue. Marvel Legends, Hasbro, self-explained. It's Marvel Legends, kind of standard what's going on there. And there are definitely a lot of people who are in the reselling scene, and so they will end up buying out these toys before you even have a chance, and then you have to get it at resale value. Don't let them win. I think, once again, people have their business, do their thing. I have my critiques on how I see some of that being handled. Diamond Select, though, that brand even has toys like the Muppets and Lord of the Rings and Nightmare Before Christmas. NECA.
What do you mean by that?
So NECA, NECA, that has Aliens or Ninja Turtles as well, horror classics. And then Joy Toy, which I mentioned earlier with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then shout out to my homie Grant, also have Warhammer toys. I will just say, collect loudly, collect proudly. I'm so passionate about discovering that there is a toy out there for everybody, and my hope is that you can come back to this video and say, Andre, you were right, and I found one. I'm still on the search for my wife. We are hoping that they will release some Ace Attorney figures someday because that's one of her favorite IPs of all time. It's out there. So go enjoy, go play with your toys, and don't lose that creativity and imagination, because you can spice up your life. You could spice up your rack.
What do you mean by that?
Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.